They need a lifetime ban. This is what was said about Celtic following the Scottish Cup final. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Callum McGregor has said missing his penalty in the Scottish Cup final shootout against Aberdeen was the worst moment of his career. Celtic lost 4-3 on penalties at Hampden after a 1-1 draw, ending hopes of a domestic treble. McGregor's spot kick was saved by Aberdeen goalkeeper Dimitar Mitov. Alistair Johnston also saw his penalty saved. Aberdeen won the shootout and lifted the cup for the first time since 1990. Speaking after the match, McGregor was emotional and had to be comforted by Brendan Rodgers and his teammates. The captain admitted the loss was tough to take. McGregor had this to say: "It's probably the worst moment I've ever had on a football pitch. It was a real slow one. We didn't do enough in the game to deserve it, and when it goes to penalties, it's a bit of a walk away. This time it came back to bite us. I just need to go away, process it, and come back stronger next year. It's been an amazing season, but we didn't do enough to cap it off. The manager was consoling me at full time. It's just so raw right now. But they'll be learning in it. Sometimes you need a bit of adversity to grow. We're so used to winning that maybe we forgot what it feels like to really earn it. The group can learn from this and be better for it. Like I said, it's probably the worst moment I've had on the football pitch," he concluded. McGregor's post-match interview showed the pain of the defeat, but also his determination to come back stronger next season. He is a winner, and this afternoon was a rare moment where he wasn't when it mattered most. The defeat brought a difficult end to what had been a good season for Celtic. The Hoops had already secured the league title and won the League Cup, but the chance to finish with a treble slipped away. The disappointment will sting through the summer, but it also lays the groundwork for a response. This team has the quality and character to turn heartbreak into fuel, and McGregor will be leading that charge next season in what will no doubt be a warning to the rest of Scottish football, with the Celtic skipper desperate to put things right. Now for the main story. Keith Hackett has slammed fans' behaviour during Celtic and Aberdeen's Scottish Cup final. The former PGMOL chief and ex-FIFA official exclusively told Football Insider that questions had to be raised surrounding the pre-match searches of attendees for such major spectacles. Celtic had comfortably dispatched of Aberdeen in their previous meeting, with a much-rotated side winning 5-1 on 14th May. But during the first half of the Scottish Cup final, the Hoops struggled to break down a resolute Dons side. Dyson Maeda has been linked with a Celtic exit, and the Japan international struggled to have an impact from the left wing, where he had been moved to accommodate for one-time Arsenal target Adam Idah. However, after 40 frustrating minutes for the SPFL champions, an Alfie Dorrington own goal from a corner gave Brendan Rodgers' side the breakthrough, though the goal added life to a rather unspectacular spectacle. A moment in the first half caught the attention of Hackett. With 24 minutes gone, referee Don Robertson halted proceedings as Celtic looked to build out from the back. The referee pointed to a corner flag where a pyrotechnic flare sat near the edge of the pitch. The flare was quickly dealt with by a member of staff who was able to move the object away from the field of play, allowing Robertson to get play underway again. This is not the first time that flares have made their way onto or near the pitch in recent times, and Scotland's football clubs wanted to see beefed up banning orders for fans who bring pyrotechnics to matches. Former PGMOL chief Hackett questioned how fans had even managed to sneak a flare past security at Hampden Park, whilst also calling for a lifetime ban for the fan who had thrown it onto the pitch. He said, "You have to question what body searches are taking place prior to entry to the stadium. This is a showcase event watched by millions around the world. What a pity that a spectator decides to delay proceedings by throwing onto the pitch a pyrotechnic flare. With increased surveillance equipment and security, I hope that a review of the video will reveal the culprit and they will be issued a lifetime ban." In other news, Brendan Rodgers has revealed Kasper Schmeichel's immediate reaction in the dressing room following his error in the Scottish Cup final, which handed Aberdeen a late equaliser and pushed the tie into extra time and eventually penalties. The experienced Danish keeper, who had been largely reliable since joining the club, misjudged a cross late in normal time, allowing Aberdeen to draw level. With the game finishing 1-1 after 90 minutes, it headed to extra time and then penalties, where Schmeichel failed to save any of the Dons' spot kicks. With Viljami Sinisalo dropped for the final after starting Celtic's recent 5-1 win over Aberdeen at Pittodrie and impressing in Schmeichel's absence in recent months, Rodgers' decision proved costly. However, he doubled down on his praise for Schmeichel after the game. He said, He's obviously apologetic to his teammates, but he's been outstanding for us all season. It was one of those moments in the game late on that can happen. We still had one or two other chances that we could have scored from, but yes, it was just unfortunate at that time of the game, he said. The error overshadowed what had been a relatively controlled display from Celtic until that point. Despite their dominance in possession and chances created, they failed to put the game to bed, leaving the door open for Aberdeen's late leveller. Rodgers' backing of Schmeichel reflects the Irishman's approach throughout the season, opting to support players rather than single them out, especially in the wake of individual mistakes. Schmeichel has played a pivotal role in Celtic's campaign, producing a string of important saves and showing leadership from the back across domestic and European matches. However, he was undoubtedly well below that standard this afternoon, delivering his worst performance for Celtic by far. In other news, Brendan Rodgers watched his Celtic side fall to a painful Scottish Cup final defeat against Aberdeen, losing on penalties after a 1-1 draw. The result ended any chance of a domestic treble this season. After the match, Rodgers asked fans to look at the bigger picture, reminding them that Celtic still have won the league title and the League Cup this season. Celtic struggled to create clear chances in the final and couldn't break down a stubborn Aberdeen defence. The Irishman admitted it was a tough one to take, but believes it will drive the Hoops forward next season. He said, "Looking at the bigger picture, we won the league title, won the League Cup. Sadly, we just couldn't go that next step. It's been a really good season for us. This will hurt. That's your motivation. That drives you going into next season. There's no doubt that any setback you have provides that stimulus and motivation going forward. It's a sore one today, but we can't have any complaints. We always look at ourselves and we didn't do enough in the offensive side of the game," Rodgers concluded. Rodgers clearly still believes it has been a strong campaign overall, despite the cup final disappointment. He wants the team and the fans to take the positives and be ready for what comes next. Since January, Celtic have lost 5 domestic games. That's a major shift from their strong start to the season when they went unbeaten for 6 months. Injuries to key players like Rio Hatate and Jota hurt the team this afternoon, and others have struggled to maintain consistency, with Kyogo's sale in January undoubtedly proving costly this afternoon. Celtic supporters will feel the sting of missing out on a treble, but Rodgers is focused on learning the lessons and coming back stronger next season. Let's hope he can improve the team in the summer transfer window while keeping the likes of Dyson Maeda and Greg Taylor. Lastly, Brendan Rodgers' hopes of leading Celtic to a 3rd domestic treble ended in heartbreak at Hampden as the Hoops lost the Scottish Cup final to Aberdeen on penalties. The game finished 1-1 after extra time, but the Dons held their nerve from the spot to win 4-3. Celtic had most of the ball and took the lead through an Alfie Dorrington own goal, but they couldn't kill the game off. A late mistake from Kasper Schmeichel in normal time gave Aberdeen a way back into the match, and they took full advantage in the end. Brendan Rodgers was honest after the game. He said Celtic didn't do enough in attack and were too slow in their play. The Irishman was also unhappy with how Celtic played the ball backwards instead of trying to break through the Aberdeen defence. Rodgers had this to say: "Our quality, our running, especially in the final third. We had a lot of the ball, but we lacked our combinations, our speed in the final third, our runs. When you play like that and Aberdeen defend well, that made it difficult for us. With the greatest respect, it was more ourselves. We failed to get to the level you need to get to. We've played against a 5-3-2 so many times this season, scored goals against it, but you have to be slick, precise, running and not be safe. There were too many times where we weren't getting turned, we were setting the ball back. You need that personality. Unfortunately, that combination of not being at our level and Aberdeen being very motivated to defend, we couldn't quite make the breakthrough." Celtic looked in control for much of the game. They were 1-0 up and seemed to be heading for a win, but a simple moment turned the match. Schmeichel misjudged a cross and meant the game headed to extra time. In the shootout, Celtic missed crucial penalties and Aberdeen took their chance. The result ends any chance of another treble for Rodgers' side, who had already won the league and League Cup. Players and fans will feel the pain of this defeat, especially after being ahead for so long. Now the focus turns to the summer as Celtic aim to come back stronger next season under Brendan Rodgers. What are your thoughts on these? Let us know down in the comment section below. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribed to the channel for more Celtic content.